I'm Terri Murphy with the Women's Wisdom Network, Senior Editor for Realty Times, Women in Business, Women in Real Estate in the Men's Room with Murph. And what if we had someone that fits all three? Because he's so darn good. His name is Mark Seiden. He is a team leader with Mark Seiden Real Estate in New York. And we call him Mark 57. And you know why? Because there's a lot of Marks in your life, but there's only one Mark 57, and that's because there's 57 amazing reasons to love this man. What I like about him is his energy, his commitment to the real estate industry, and all kinds of good things. You're about to meet him because he's going to talk about how prospecting and pizza fit really, really well. Welcome, Mark Seiden.
Well, thank you so much. My head is so big now. I do not know if I'm going to get it through the door on the way out after the show.
Trust me, you have a wife. She will fix it. So you're in Westchester County. Tell our viewers where that is in New York.
Westchester County is the first suburban county out of New York City. So everyone knows Manhattan, you know, Empire State Building, yada, yada. North of that is the Bronx. It's not the Bronx.
It's
the Bronx. And then there's is Westchester County.
Well, that's terrific. And you've been the #1 agent there for years, many years at a time, starting way back with your mom in '93.
Yeah. So in '93, I started real estate. I graduated from Cornell University, and
wait, no. Let's let that sit for just a second. That was Cornell, as in the real Cornell University, and of all things, hotel administration. And you say that fits beautifully into real estate.
Well, it does. And actually, I was the first person in hotel school to kind of double major in nutrition. So I was the first Cornell hotelie, as they call this, to go on to become a registered dietitian. And I did that not because I wanted to be a dietitian, but I did hospital food service management to try to take food out from the medieval times to actually food that you could eat. And I was really successful doing that, working with contract food service management. And my mom who owned a real estate company, Lower Side Real Estate, was like, "You're being wasted. This is wasteful. You're a salesperson. You're awesome. You can have your own company, yada, yada, yada." So she finally got a recruiter to recruit me to New York. And then she convinced me to go sales. So I started in '93 as a real estate salesperson. My mother would not give me a draw. And I started in real estate with a pregnant wife, having to buy or lease 2 cars and buy a condo with no draw. Yeah, it was a fun time in 1993.
Yeah, but you're so creative. And what you don't know about Mark Seiden is he's one of the top 25 coaches as recognized by Inman with Workman's Success. That's how I got to meet you. And I remember the day. It was like, let's get that guy on decaf. I mean, are so terrific. But you've been in real estate. You've got a team.
Yes.
And one of the tough things about a team is keeping everybody motivated, keeping them always prospecting, not expecting them to be fed, but to be part of the system that generates sales. And you do that really, really well. And the reason that I really specifically wanted you to share here on Realty Times was what you do with your team, because you've had a team for how many years?
Oh my God. If I started in real estate in '93, I probably had a team since before 2000. And before anybody knew the word team, we used to call them mega agent teams, because I learned that from a person in Chicago. But yeah, it's the only way in my book to really do it.
Well, there is. And when you go to your website, which is homeman.net, is that it?
That's it. You got it.
You see, you've literally got client care specialists in different verticals and whatever. But we know that what happens, a lot of people think that when you deal with somebody that is as comprehensively good as you are, that you don't have time. But you have systems down, right down to scripts and dialogues and everything. But the thing that fascinated me was how you tied prospecting to pizza, one of my favorite things. Tell us about your prospecting night and how that developed.
So I actually learned prospecting night from quite a few coaches, even Vorl Workman for prospecting night. But part of it is, again, to get people motivated to come. And, our prospecting night pretty much started at 6:30 at night. And to get agents to come at 6:30 at night, they're a little hungry. So, prospecting night is 2 hours. So they're here from 6:30 to 8:30. And to keep them motivated, during the first half hour of prospecting night, we're not prospecting yet. So we always do introduction. We do goals. What's your goal? How many dials? How many people you're going to talk to? How many futures you're going to have, which is kind of unique to our group. And what a future is. Well, I can't make an appointment now, but let me talk to my husband, wife, whatever, and I'll get back to you on Thursday. We called that a future. And then we did role playing. So we'd always go by the role play and how to do the calls. Well, it's kind of hard to do that at 6:30 and with them staring at you and exhausted after a day. So what's the best way to get a realtor's attention? Well, I kind of got that from open houses. What did everybody used to do to get a realtor to come to an open house? Yeah, you feed them.
It's correct. That is correct.
So we started doing pizza, and people would have pizza while we did that first half hour versus introduction, goals, and role play. Now, of course, sometimes people can get a little bored of pizza, and then people started to get a little, oh, I'm a little too healthy. I don't know about pizza. So now it became sushi or a salad. Oh, yeah. So my admin staff before our prospecting night usually has to do pickup from 3 or 4 different restaurants just to get the foods necessary to motivate my staff. And it is unbelievable fun.
Well, it is because the energy is all there. You do it together. You do it at the office. The first half hour is the noshing and to use an Italian word, noshing and talking about goals and dials and that kind of thing. But you're very purposeful. It's not just, we're just going to pick up the phone and start calling strangers. You have them organized to contact B and C leads first. Is that correct?
Correct. Right. So,
tell our audience what B and C leads are.
Right. So we split our prospecting night pretty much in half, 45 and 45 minutes. So for the first 45 minutes, we're doing what's called follow-up calls. And what a lot of people don't understand is that there's a huge difference between a follow-up call and a prospecting call. A prospecting call, the purpose of a prospecting call is to call someone to see if you can get a referral, which means you're looking to add the number of people in your database. So if you had 222 people in your database, the purpose of a prospecting call is get a name, phone number, and email. So you can now have 223 people in your database in order to do more business. That's a prospecting call. If you're doing a call for anything else than that, it's not a prospecting call. It's a follow-up call. So we have something called A, B, and C leads. An A lead is really simple. You have an appointment with that person. It's a legitimate, I'm meeting or talking to that person at 3 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, or you're in the middle of a negotiation or a transaction. That's an A person. If you don't have that, then they're either a B lead or a C lead. And a B lead is a lead that we really think that is absolutely going to be in contract to buy a property within 3 to the outside 6 months. And then there's everybody else, which is a C lead that we think is going to take longer. So our first 45 minutes are follow-up calls to those people to see if we can book some appointments.
Right.
The other 45, go ahead.
Well, I just want to stop you there because for a team leader to get your agents to stop, to focus and just do the follow-up takes this intense focus where everybody does it together, including the team leader, which has really changed the dynamic of making sure it gets done. Now, the second 45 minutes
is prospecting. And prospecting is calling personal sphere. So these are people that you're calling that have no intention to do any what I call direct first line business with the agent at all. So they're calling their friends, family, coworkers, and these people are not looking to buy or sell a house, nor are we ever asking them, hey, you're looking to buy or sell. They are referral calls, prospecting calls to attempt to get someone to add to the database. But there's a secret sauce to that call. If done correctly, the person you're calling will never, ever know that it's a referral call. The purpose of the call is, Terry, hey, what's happening? I haven't talked to you in a while. I have talked to you in a while. Hey, remember the last time we spoke, you said your significant other, husband, wife, child, mother, kid, boss, whatever was doing this. Hey, how did that go? So the purpose of a prospecting call, and even a follow-up call for that matter, is always to look for triggers. because one of the biggest things that real estate agents always say is they never know a reason why to call someone. Why am I calling this person? How can I call this person once a month? As we say in old English, I ain't got nothing to say if I call them every month, right? But if you do it right, you call them, you look for triggers. Yeah, I just finished, I'm going back to the office. I'm a little bit nervous. In 2 weeks, we're supposed to be going back to the office again full time. You write that down, going back to the office full time. Yeah, my kid's having their 16th birthday, and then I'm going to have to teach them how to drive. Teaching your kid how to drive. What's the kid's name? Yeah, Mary. Teaching Mary how to drive. You write that down. So then month after month after month, you always have a reason to call for the prospecting call. Hey, what's going on? The last time we spoke, you said you're going to take Mary driving. Are you still alive, or how many cars have you gone through? Blah, 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 blah. That's how you do a prospecting call.
And that's so what has been the result for you? I mean, what have you seen time over time? Because we know that the measurement, inspect what you expect. How has that paid off for you and the team?
Well, it's interesting because we actually put goals. I have a whiteboard in one of my conference rooms, and we'll put a little whiteboard there, everyone's name, how many dials they're going to make. And the interesting thing about dials is a lot of people are hung up on dials. Dials is the least most important item during prospecting night. And yet people think they get a badge of honor if they do a lot of dials. It's not about how many people you dial. It's about how many people you talk to. So, but we do kind of, how many dials, how many people think you're going to talk to, how many referrals do you think you're going to get, how many people are going to refer to our, lenders, blah, blah, blah. And what we really found out at the end of the night, so the last 15 minutes of the night, there's no calls. We all come back to the room for the last 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And we give our actual figures to the goals that we put up there. So everyone then has to give their activity and how many people they spoke to and how many appointments they made and how many people they added to their database. And because it was measured literally in front of everybody, it's amazing how fast people started getting referrals. Now, some of these referrals, people didn't buy or sell right away. Some referrals they got, people weren't buying for 1 to 2 years from now. That's okay. That's called deferred income.
Right. And it's also what you call your futures. So if you're listening to this, it makes really good sense for you to understand that prospecting is really connecting.
Oh,
and when it's intentional and blocked on your calendar, and for you, you've been doing this every Wednesday for however long.
No, we do it once or twice a month in the evening. That's how I get people there. So we have the evening ones once or twice a night, depending what mode we're in. So really kind of when we're in our peak time, which is February, March, April, and May, we'll start doing that twice a month. All the other months, we kind of do it kind of once a month and get together. But the other great thing about prospecting night is that once you get the agents to prospect, because you're getting together to do it that night, they then will do it more themselves at home because you're honing their skill and listening to other people do it. So not only is it a prospecting night, it's a training night because they get to hear everybody else do it with even some role playing. So it's a twofer.
So there you go. So Mark, now you understand why there's more than 57 ways to love this man. He's creative. He's brilliant. He loves to cook. He loves his family. And the good news is he helps other people build their business so they can contribute to their lives and their families. Mark, what's the best way to reach you if someone wanted you to speak or teach for them?
Oh, well, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can go to my website, homeman.net, and click contact, and you can fill something out. That'll get to me. You can email me directly at M for Mark, M Seiden. So that's MSEIDEN at homeman.net. Or you can give me a little ring at 914-762-2200. And it would be an honor and a pleasure to talk to anybody.
I'm telling you, you cannot feel badly when you walk away from this man. Mark, I want to thank you. I so respect what you've done for the industry and how much you share. You have a ginormous heart, and you have shared wonderful processes and scripts and dialogues and initiatives that you've done that have worked. You've done it for a long time. You're a great contributor to our industry. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll join us again for another segment on Realty Times.
Absolutely.
I'm Terri Murphy. You now know Mark. You are in. Thanks so much, Mark. We appreciate your being here.
Thank you.